Hey there, YouTubers. It's a nice day today, and I want to go on a quick ride around my city. The purpose of this video is to sort of provide useful information about commuting on the streets, where there are no special biking lanes. I commute to work on and off with my bicycle, especially during the summer when the weather is usually perfect. I have been doing this for the past 10 years or so, and if you can do it too, I really recommend it. If you commute to work or school regularly and it's not too far away, let's say within 2 to 5 miles, that would be the perfect range for using a non-electric bicycle. The benefits are obvious. It's a whole lot of fun, you get some exercise, you have less stress in traffic, and if you do it often enough, it's actually a pretty big savings on gas and even on car maintenance. Now, as I ride around the city here, I want to provide some commentary of what you can expect while riding on the streets and some safety information as well. There are some obvious things to list, of course. First of all, you should make sure you're wearing a helmet and gloves. You should also make sure you have your bike seat height and handlebars adjusted for your size. Believe it or not, this is very important for your ride to feel a lot more comfortable and you'll have much less aches and pains. Alright, so the street I'm on currently is a small street, where there ain't too many cars. On streets like this, I prefer to ride on the street alongside the parked cars. My main concern here is people who open their car doors or cars pulling out onto the street. So my eyes are constantly scanning parked cars on my right side, or for any movement on people's driveways for cars that may be pulling out. I also try to stay aware of cars coming up from behind me. For now, I tilt my head to the side every once in a while to check, but I'm actually looking into getting a small mirror to attach to my handlebar. Alright, I'm coming up on an intersection here. I'll slow down and look both ways before turning right, just like I would if I was in a car. This street here has an incline. I'll go ahead and change my gears down to make it easier for me to climb up. Now I'm approaching another intersection, and as you might have noticed, I don't always stop at stop signs. You are technically supposed to, but on a small street where there are no cars present, I bend the rules just a little bit to conserve my energy. Another thing I don't do is ride super close to the curb. That feet or so of space right next to the curb has a lot of junk accumulated on the ground. Things such as nails and other sharp objects are often found there, and so I avoid it. And that reminds me, I want to mention that you should always have a few things with you anytime you're going on a ride that is more than a mile away from home, such as a tire repair kit, a small tire pump, and a few other items that are essential. I plan to make a very helpful video about these items in the future. But alright, let's continue. We have arrived to a very busy intersection. There are often a lot of cars that want to do a right turn here. So I prefer to get out of their way as much as possible, and I get onto the sidewalk. The right thing to do here would be to pull to the left as much as possible and allow right turn cars to have the space to approach the intersection and do their right turns. But I find that a little bit too dangerous, and prefer to instead wait on the sidewalk. Now once the light turns green, I always look behind me to make sure there are no cars doing right turns. And if there are, I'm going to make sure that they've seen me and that they're going to wait for me to cross before I get onto the street again. So this is now a very busy street that I'm on, and the cars are driving very fast. And in this section of street, there isn't much space in the right lane to share with cars, so I prefer to ride on the sidewalk. You will find that you will often switch from street to sidewalk back and forth multiple times during your ride. Now remember, as a biker, you are an unwanted guest on the sidewalks, and technically you should not even be there at all. So with that in mind, always slow down and give way to pedestrians, and always make sure you thank them if they give you way. So now we are approaching a section of street where there is a special bike lane for us. This is not super common in my city, so I take advantage of this as much as possible. Of course, we still need to keep an eye on parked cars and people's driveways for any movement, but at least we can now relax a little bit when it comes to approaching cars from behind us. And because there's a little less danger now and I have the space, I can definitely go much faster. Alright, let's pretend we did not see that. But yeah, I did run the red light. I definitely do not recommend doing this at all. But yeah, let's leave it at that. So speaking of things I do not recommend, one of those things are riding on the wrong side of a heavy traffic street. Unfortunately, there are times when you have to. And if you do, the danger of getting hit by a car goes up by a lot. And there's a big no-no, which is riding on the street while on the wrong side. You should always be on the sidewalk in this case. And if there is no sidewalk, then you should not be riding there at all. So now that I'm safely on the sidewalk, there is another thing to mention. When you're going the wrong direction like this, you need to be very aware of cars pulling out of driveways, parking lots, etc., and cars that are doing right turns. Let's put ourselves in the perspective of a car driver for a second. When you're driving and you want to get out of a driveway or a parking lot or do a right turn, the first thing you tend to do is look to your left for approaching cars. And you tend to always drive forward far enough to be able to see approaching cars. Your attention is almost never on the right side of the street, at least not initially. And so bikers approaching from the right side are usually ignored, and it's very common for cars to just drive up right into your path. And some even proceed doing right turns without ever checking the right side at all. So you need to always slow down and even stop if you see a car that's coming out of a driveway, a parking lot, or is going to do a right turn. You should always make sure that they have seen you and that they are going to wait for you before you move forward and get in front of their car. The big takeaway here is really just avoid going the wrong direction in general. And if you do go the wrong direction, you have to be very careful. Alright, let's change the subject a little bit to clothing. So we have been riding for about 15 minutes now, and I can feel that I'm getting a bit worked up. Here are a couple of recommendations. Always wear comfortable clothes. And if you're going to school or work, take an extra shirt with you just in case you get sweaty. And if you're in the sun, wear some sunscreen or a windbreaker type jacket like mine, with long sleeves and a collar to protect my skin. Also have some water with you. You will most likely get thirsty, and don't forget to take a break and stretch a little bit after a while. If you're riding for more than 30 minutes and really covering some distance, you may want to get padded bicycle shorts. These are specifically designed for bicyclists, and they help cushion your seat bones and other parts down there as you sit on the saddle. It also prevents chafing. Padded bicycle shorts make a huge difference, and it is pretty much a requirement for me when I go on longer distance rides where I'm riding for more than 30 minutes. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here, and I want to ask you guys to please like and subscribe to help my small channel out and to see more helpful content like this in the future. And thanks for watching.